Sorry. I forgot to record it, so I'm turning it on right now. So again, we'll do a review in a second, but the reason why we need to do bittul is even though you checked for chametz and you got rid of the chametz and you got rid of it and it's out of your house, there's a concern that you might find a piece of pesach zman that has chametz in it, and for 1 second, you're going to say, oh, wow, I wish I could eat that, and you didn't burn it for that one moment, so now you have bal yiro, bal yimatze. You're now over that you have chametz in your house just in case you miss something, and therefore we also do bittul. So we have those two aspects. We have the bittul, the eradicating of the chametz in our heart, so that we're not over the isser of bal yirah u bal yimatze. This way, lo yirah lechase, or that you shouldn't have chametz in your rishus. But we also do bedikat, which means the cleaning and the searching of the chametz, so that even if I did bittul, there's a concern that maybe I didn't fully have kavana, and I don't really mean to be mafkir to make sure that it's free to everyone and it's like the dirt of the land. And there's also the concern that that you might find something and eat it just out of habit. And therefore, we make sure to do both of those things. The halacha that comes out of it is that we don't need to check every single place. We don't need to go above and beyond. And if it's too heavy to move a piece of furniture and we don't have people in our home this year to help us out, you do not need to move the heavy pieces of furniture. You don't need to check. A person should clean any place that chametz is used to going to. That's another thing. We don't need to kasher our bathroom sinks. We don't need to kasher our bathroom. It's nice to clean our bathroom, but we don't bring food into the bathroom. And therefore, it's a makom she'ein machnisim bo chametz. It's a place that we don't bring chametz into it. We don't have to check over there. Also, your machsan, your miklat, things that are downstairs in your building. So you might keep over there your sukkah, you might keep over there whatever it might be, but that's not a place where people store chametz. And therefore, you don't have to go and do bedikas chametz over there, and you don't really have to go clean it out for chametz. Now, what do we do with the chametz that we have in our possession? So on a regular year, some people are machmir to not sell chametz gamur. They don't want to sell chametz gamur because is the mechira, is the sale a good enough of a sale? Do I really have kavanah for it? There's different reasons to be machmir. And some people, even when they do a sale, they don't want it to be in their rishus. They move it out to a store. They bring out the whiskey to somewhere else. But and the whiskey is even more kal. It's tarovis chametz. What about if you have pasta, you have lasagna, you have good food, and we're in a place where it's hard for us to go out to the supermarket. We're in a time period that we're not even sure if we'll be able maybe to get food after, or whatever the concern is. I think Baruch Hashem here in Israel, they're doing a great service. So I'm not concerned about us running out of food. However, what should one do with chametz gamur? So this year, again, the rabbis are being more makel and are saying that it's okay to assign a specific closet in your house and put the chametz gamur in it. Put in your whiskey over there, and also put in your pasta and your spaghetti that is sealed, and you seal that closet. Just to explain what happens over there, that closet, part of the sale that you gave your address in the form that we sent out to the shul, you didn't have to give a specific location, but if the guy were to come to your location, you could show him that closet. And that closet, just so that we understand what's going on, we are renting that closet to the non-Jew for the duration of Pesach. It's sort of like you could rent storage space. So not only are we selling him our chametz, we're also renting. Okay, 1 second. I see my kids are on it. I have to unmute. Oriel, you have to stay on mute, please. Okay, thank you. Excellent. So besides that we're selling the chametz to the non-Jew, we're also renting to the non-Jew that closet. And that closet is not our space. We're renting it out to the non-Jew, and therefore all the chametz that is in that closet, and it's sealed, and it says chametz on it, so when we seal off our dishes on our year-round dishes, we don't even need to rent out that space because there's no real chametz there. However, our chametz gamur, we're closing up that closet. If we have a lock, we can lock it up, or we scotch tape it up, And that closet we don't go into on Pesach at all because it actually doesn't belong to us. We rented it out to the non-Jew, and the non-Jew has his chametz in his closet, and we are not over Val Yiroi, Val Yimatzeh. What we do is we're checking for real chametz, for large pieces of chametz, even less than a kezais, but it's large enough that you might eat it. Like a full Cheerio is something definitely that my kids will eat off the floor if they'll or off a counter or whatever it is. So therefore, that's something that's small enough for me to look around because they like eating Cheerios. But if you feel that you don't have any significant piece of chametz, or behind the fridge, there might be a big piece of chametz, but it's full of dust over there and it's too heavy to move the fridge, you don't have to move the fridge to look for that type of chametz, and you're okay with Bedikat's chametz, you're okay with the bittul of the chametz, of eradicating the chametz in your mind. And when you do the eradication of the chametz in your mind, which we actually do twice, we do it the night of checking the chametz. Tuesday night, we're going to be checking the chametz by candlelight, and at the end of it, we say the kol chamira, and the next day, we're going to burn the chametz or get rid of the chametz. We're going to say kol chamira again a second time when we are done flushing it down the toilet. Now, the bracha that we say, though, is called al bi'ur chametz, which is the burning of the chametz, or the eradication of the chametz, not just in our heart, but physically, because the checking for chametz is actually the beginning of the getting rid of the chametz. It's not a mitzvah in and of itself. It's a mitzvah that's a process of getting rid of the chametz. When we get rid of the chametz, that's when we finalize the actual mitzvah. So therefore, we do the bracha before we start the mitzvah, before we start checking. The next day, when we normally burn it, or when we're going to be flushing it down the toilet, so we don't make a bracha, we just say the kol chamira v'chamia de'ika birshusi. And just to review what we spoke about, the burning of the chametz this year, so there's a machlokes in Pesachim between Rabbi Yehuda and Chachamim. Rabbi Yehuda says the way to get rid of the chametz is to burn it. The Chachamim say you could also sprinkle it to the wind, and you could also throw it out into the water, meaning that you could use any way to get rid of the chametz. You don't necessarily need to burn it. Now, just to understand their machlokes, it seems that their machlokes is the burning of the chametz a mitzvah in and of itself, or is it just a necessary process to get to the outcome of not having chametz in your possession? The rabbis, the chachamim, they hold that the reason why we get rid of the chametz is so that you don't have chametz in your possession. And therefore, it doesn't matter how you get rid of the chametz, whether you burn it or whether you flush it down the toilet, just make sure that you don't have chametz in your possession by the time Pesach comes. Rabbi Yehuda is of the opinion that there's actually a mitzvah to be involved in the process of burning the chametz. That in your mind, you see that you're burning the chametz. And in fact, the Minchas Chinuch, this is just an interesting question that comes up. Let's say you are gluten-free. Let's say your house is chametz-free all year round. Do you have a mitzvah to look for chametz and to burn chametz the next day on erev Pesach? Right? You don't have chametz in your house already definitely for 30 days before, for a whole year. Your house is gluten-free, nothing, no wheat, no barley, nothing in your house. Do you have a mitzvah to actually put 10 pieces of bread and to look for it and then to burn it? So the Minchas Chinuch wants to say that that's the nafkamina between Rabbi Yehuda and the Chachamim. The Rabbi Yehuda says that yes, there's a mitzvah to actively be physically involved in burning the chametz, so that it's also a hashkafa and a musar thing for us, that we're getting rid of the chametz, of anything that is extra in our life. And for this 1 week, we're connecting to the mitzvah of not having chametz in our life and just having the matzah, which means like the midah of anivos, of being more modest. And that's what Rabbi Yehuda would hold. And Chachamim would hold, no, the whole point is just to have the outcome that you shouldn't have chametz in your rishus. If you don't have chametz in your possessions and in your property, so then you wouldn't have a mitzvah to check. So we go with both, because really we paskin like the Chachamim, and that's why you don't have to burn it, and that's why this year you could flush it down the toilet or make your own little fire in your porch. But I highly recommend that you stay inside and you just flush it down the toilet. If you want to add a little economica into your toilet and flush it with that, so then you're actually physically getting rid, and it's no longer edible already when it's still in the toilet bowl, and then you get rid of it and it's out of your possession. So that's an additional thing. If you want to do that, this way you're mekayim also the svara of Rabbi Yehuda that you are physically destroying it, because la halacha we paskin, the Rambam paskins like the chachamim, that we do not need to burn it. All we need to do is just to get rid of it so that it should not be in our possession. So that's really what that's the end of checking for chametz. I felt like it was important to discuss also the checking for chametz. What do we need to check? What do we not need to check? Because we need to make sure that we're not working too hard in not only collecting for dust, but also not moving things that are too heavy for us to move, when otherwise in other years we might have help, but this year we're not bringing other people into our homes. So this is in reference to checking the chametz. I'll just add one more word of chizuk that we see in the beginning of this week's parsha, in Parshat Tzav. So we say, "Vaydaber Hashem Moshe lemor Tzav et Aaron ve'et banav lemor." Right in the beginning of the parsha, "Zo Torat haolah, hi haolah al mokda, al hamizbeach kol halayla ad haboker, ve'esh hamizbeach tukad bos." So right in the beginning, when we have the commandment of the karban olah, so says the pasuk that this is the olah which is on the fire all night until the morning, and the fire of the Mizbeach should be lit on the Mizbeach the entire night. And Rashi says, what does that mean? It just tells us that you could burn the fats, the hektar chalavim, and the ivarim, and the limbs throughout the night, and it's okay that it gets burned throughout the night, even though the karbanos need to be sacrificed during the day. That's the Pashut Pshat. I remember hearing from Rabbi Wein that there's a drash that is said over here. If you look at the Kli Yakar points this out as well, and he says, this is the Torah of the Olah, which is on the Mizbeach all night long until the morning. That throughout Jewish history, we have times of darkness, which is called the Laila, which is called the fire that is burning throughout the night. And he said that there's two types of fire. There's a fire that is burning, that might be burning us, and that's why it's a time of darkness. But there's also a fire that burns inside of us, which is the fire that allows us to survive the times of darkness, a fire that allows us to survive those times where we have the passion of Judaism, the passion of Torah, the passion of learning, the passion of understanding that this is for our good. We don't understand why we need to go through this, but we know that there's a loving Father in heaven that is making us go through this time of darkness. And what does a time of darkness mean? It means just like in the dark, where I can't see the next step. I don't know what tomorrow is going to be like. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where life is taking me. It's darkness. And that's really the time of period that we find ourselves in. We're in a time of darkness in the world, where the world doesn't know what tomorrow is going to look like, what the next week is going to look like. And then the entire night, what we need to do is to have that constantly burning fire inside of us, inside each and every one of us, that even though it's hard and we're alone and to not give up. We're here for a reason. We represent something. We're going to come out stronger when all of this is finished. We're going to come out more united. We're finding that people are speaking about Emunah in Hashem. We find that world leaders are starting to realize that they do not run the world, but rather Avinu Shebashamayim, our Father in heaven. He's the one who runs the world. There's something that is going to be positive that comes out of this, even though we're going through such a difficult times. And I'm sure every single one of us knows somebody who is experienced a difficult time during this terrible, terrible virus that is spreading. It's an opportunity also to say that we lost Mr. Chaim Arborsfeld, who is a dear friend and a chashuv, a member of our kehila. He lives in New York, but he used to come here for all the chagim and to be involved and to come for Pesach and to come for Yom Noraim. And he's involved in so many different yeshivas and organizations. And unfortunately, he was nifter yesterday. His daughter that is living here in Yerushalayim, she was with us at the Purim Suda in our shul. They live here in the Diskin Villas. They're sitting Shiva, starting this afternoon until Yontiv. The email was sent out to our community. and we're going through a difficult time. We're going through a difficult time. Every single person knows somebody that is going through a difficult time with this virus because it's hitting the entire world, and it's hitting every community, and therefore we need to have chizuk. We need to have chizuk, and this year should be Lilu Nishmas, Rabbi Chaim Arbersfeld, who's also a Musmach of Yeshiva University, learned by the Rav, and a big supporter actually of Yeshiva University, and a member of our Shul. And that's what the Mefarshim explain over here, that the fire needs to burn on the Mizbeach all night, and that's our inner fire, our inner flame, Ada Boker, until we're Zocha to see the Boker. The Boker is when Hashem lights up the night. And we're going to say at the Seder night, towards the end, we say, Ta'ir ke'or yom cheshkas laila, right? By all the way at the end, we say you should light up the night, the darkness of the night, just like the brightness of the morning. It should be totally lit up. And that's really what we're waiting for. We're waiting for that the time of darkness becomes so lit that we're able. What does that mean, that the darkness should become like the daytime? Does that mean that we're not going to have nighttime when Yemos HaMashiach comes? No, but what it means is that we're able to see the light in the darkness. We're able to see how the darkness was really for our good. Was light means a time of clarity, a time of, I could see everything. I walk into a room that's dark, I can't see anything. I don't know what's going on. The moment the light turns on, I totally understand the entire picture. I see the entire room. I now know where everything is, and I'm not bumping into anything. When we're in the darkness, we don't know where anything is. We don't know why it's going. I don't know where I'm going. I'm bumping into things. So we pray at the Haggadah that we should be zocha, that the morning should come and it should light up our lives. And that's really what we're praying for. And I just saw on the news, someone forwarded to me that there's actually a comet that is coming and orbiting around Earth. They're seeing it. It's like a comet that hasn't been in such a size. They're not sure where it's going to go, but they're saying that in around a week's time, there might be the brightest comet flying through the sky. And you could see it all over planet Earth. I don't know if that's happening. I don't know if it's not, but it was just interesting to me when I was trying to think of how we need to light up the darkness of the night. It might even be happening physically, that there will be a comet that's going to light up the entire sky around the world, which is something that is very, very fascinating. I'm going to now take everybody off of mute. And it's an opportunity for us to share, just to do a quick review about what we just spoke about. We spoke about checking for chametz. We explained that there is the concept of eradicating it with our heart. There's a concept of looking for the chametz. The reason why we're looking for the chametz is to make sure that if we eradicate it from our heart, that we may not have done it so well. And number two, that we might end up eating it. And therefore, we're only looking for chametz that is really something that we could eat. So it's the size of a kizayis, but even less if it's something that might be edible. And therefore, we don't have to go all out about searching for the chametz too much. And also the way we're burning it, we explained that this year we're going to be doing it, and we paskin like chacham, and we're going to be flushing it down the toilet. And therefore, we don't have to be nervous about our beer chametz, about burning the chametz. I have now unmuted everybody. If you're speaking in the background, so you can mute yourself. We'd love to hear different comments and questions. And just before we leave tonight, 9:15, Rabbi Wine's Shabbos Hagadol Drasha, we sent out a separate link, which is unique for our shul, unique for this drasha. It's a different link, not the link that we normally go on for this year. It's a different email that was sent out with the link for Rabbi Wine's drasha. Yes, you had a question. Yes.
Okay. I have always asking. Are you?
Yes.
Okay.
No, yeah, you're asking. Yep.
Yeah. I have a food closet with shelves. Half of it is the chametz, and the other half is the pesach diksa. I cover it. I don't lock it. Is it okay? I don't see it.
I would say best to have your chametz in a separate closet if it's doable. It's okay, but because it's in our house, it's better to have it in an entirely separate closet that you shouldn't open it at all, if it's possible. If you could do that, that's the best thing to do. Even if it doesn't have a lock, but that you don't open that
Because
closet.
I usually cover it and we don't touch it. Okay,
Yes,
very good.
that's okay. That is okay to cover it if you don't see it and you don't touch it.
We don't see it.
But
We don't see it. Yeah.
it's best, if possible, to have a separate closet. If possible.
Okay,
That's the best.
thank you.
Sure.
I have a question.
Yes, Dina.
Yesterday you spoke about vitamins, I think, and medication.
1 second. Yes, what's the question?
Yesterday you spoke about vitamins and medication. Now, if the medication or vitamins have chametz, are we allowed to take it?
Okay, so that's a good question. If it's a first of all, if you have medication, you should speak to your doctor. Is this a very important medication or not? That's Aleph Beis. That you have to speak to your doctor. Number two, if it has chametz and it's coated with a plastic, it's one of those capsules that has a plastic around and it's not a flavored thing. So then you could take it even if it has chametz. If it doesn't have a capsule around it and it has a flavor that you could taste or chewable or liquid, so then we're going to try to look for an alternative that is not chametz-dik. We're going to try to look for an alternative that is maybe even kitnios, or it doesn't have chametz at all. And you should discuss that. Once you're looking for an alternative, that needs to be discussed with a doctor. And the doctor needs to tell you there is an alternative that services the same way, and that's the best thing to do. But if it's coated with a plastic thing, it's not a problem to take it, even if it has chametz. Some say that even all pills that are swallowable, that you could swallow, are okay if they're chametz. Others are more makpid if it's not covered with the plastic pill, but rather it's something that's a regular pill that you swallow. If it has chametz in it, that it's touching you and you're swallowing it, even though we don't actually get anas. So there's differences of opinion. If the doctor says you should take it, you could swallow it. The liquid is already more of a problem because it gives you the liquid and the chewables. Usually for kids, it's more of an issue because it gives you the flavor. You're actually enjoying the chametz, and that creates more of a problem. And there we're more machmir. There it's, we stay away from those chametz pills. But again, you have to speak to the doctor about those. If there are no alternatives, so then you could give me a call and we'll discuss it.
Yeah, same.
Okay, any other questions, any other comments? Yes, Miss Herman, Yehuda Herman. Let me just.
She's muted.
Let me unmute. Are you muted? Yeah, okay, you're unmuted. Yeah.
Yehudi, whatever.
There's background noises that I mute. Yes.
Check it, please, everyone. Are you in touch with any of the other Rabbanim in the neighborhood to find out how they're handling the beer chametz?
Exactly the same way that.
I spoke with Rav Rosenthal, but not about the mechiras chametz. You're talking about beer chametz or mechiras chametz? The burning.
I'm talking about the beer.
No, I didn't speak to Rav Rosenthal about it. But you're free to call him. I can send you his number.
Being handled the same way.
Okay, whatever. My son's will probably.
Yeah. You can discuss it with him. He's one of the rabbis in the neighborhood. Your son. You can discuss.
Yeah, I'll tell him what you said.
Yes. Passy, how are you doing?
Okay, still walking around the balcony, still getting fresh air. I'm waiting to see Uriel.
Yeah, well, he came in, he got kicked out. He's okay. He took over
We want to hear from Ariel.
Yeah, he's around. Well, Tehila is over there. I see Tehila is looking in together with the Rebbitzin. So
Tell
that's
her we want to hear another piece on the piano. That's what we want to hear.
Oh, we got Oriel is coming. He wants to say hello to everybody.
Oriel,
there he is. There he is.
Tell us what it's like.
You want to sing the Manishtana?
What do you do every day?
Manishtana alayla ze mikol haleilot mikol haleilot. Okay, one of the things, by the way, that I recommend, which could be nice, which could be nice and could give people a chizuk. Again, you have to coordinate with the rest of your family to maybe do a Zoom next week on Monday or on Tuesday, maybe even on Friday, but to sit down when there's more time, not like erev Yontiv, Sunday or Monday, and you could sit there on a Zoom call like this with your children and grandchildren, and maybe tell them some of the stories of the Agada, and tell them a message that you would like to say over to them for this Pesach. Or you could do it with your friends that are in different locations in the country, friends that you otherwise would have done the Seder with. And it sort of gives like your chance to share your thoughts and your feelings with other people that you otherwise might have done the Seder with, to do it this way, because this year we're really strongly recommending that everyone should stay put, should stay in their own location with the people that are, just like they announced on the news, and just like Netanyahu said, that everyone should stay with the people that they're living with in the house. Might be the first year that we're making our own Seder. We always go to my parents and to my in-laws. But that's what we're highly recommending to everybody. But you could connect with other people via this type of platform a day or two before Pesach.
I want to ask you about my daughter. I have a question. I have a married daughter. You know, my daughter Rivka got married.
Yes.
So she's in a special box because she doesn't, you know, she's like a few months after marriage. She's not one of my guarding members in the family right now. She's living down the street. She was going to come for the Seder. After the Prime Minister spoke last night, I felt like maybe she shouldn't come because we want to follow exactly what he said. But what do you say about that?
Yeah, my battery's running low, so this phone call might quit. But that's a good question, Ms. Herman. You guys could discuss that yourself. She lives down the block. Maybe
We were going to have her. She would wear masks.
This might be a unique opportunity for them as Chassan and Kala to have their first Seder, first year. There is no wrong way. There's no wrong way of doing this. Maybe we'll discuss tomorrow before Shabbos.
Yeah.
We're gonna have another meeting tomorrow before Shabbos. Maybe yes, same time tomorrow, and we'll discuss a little bit more of some inspiration about how to deal with the changes in our lives that are anything that we planned is not going the way we planned. Anything. Each and every one of us, our plans for Pesach are different than what we thought they would be. How do we deal with that? To be continued tomorrow. Guys, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much, everyone. Always great to see everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. We'll be in touch.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ariella.
Yes, bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.